transdimensional spider wizards, and space pirate cats. And I made those terms up right there on the fly.
A match that can only be made in Burning Man, right?
Surprised it didn't turn out to be a giant bunny pirate collective.
Here we go again. It is time for another episode of Comic Books and Cold Ones. We are the beer podcast with a comic book problem. We have a very serious episode today because we are interviewing our first guest. So no nicknames for Yek. Yek, how you doing?
Pretty good. How's it going, K-Mac? I didn't know we ever trailed to the realm of serious.
Maybe we don't. Maybe we don't. But we'll just have to see how this thing turns out. Doing good?
Yes, and excited to do an interview with the creator of comic book and talk about the work he's doing, and other projects he's got going on, as well as his path and background into the realm of funny books. And we'll get to that shortly. But if you're tuning in to this, you like comic books, you like beer, that means you can email us or hit us up and let us know more things you want to learn about our podcast, either at cbcopodcast@gmail.com, on Twitter or X or whatever they call it these days at CBCO_podcast, or like all our pictures on Instagram at comic_cold ones. And do we have any shout out of new listeners from the US or anywhere else in the world that have tuned in and drank beers with us, came back?
Yeah, we have a shout out from the town or city of Marina, California. Now, Marina, California, according to Google, is known for
Marinas.
relaxing on the beach and marinas. Once home to 25,000 soldiers at Fort Ord. What do you know?
Yeah, that's up in there in the pretty part up near Monterey and the I think the wine valley, Napa Valley, in that area. So famous people that live there: Ty Powell, former Buffalo Bills linebacker and former Chicago Bear and coach Washington Commanders and Carolina Panthers, Ron Chico Riverboat Rivera.
No, he lives there?
Yes.
What do you know?
He lived there during high school.
Oh, not currently.
Not currently, but he's...
So I don't see that there are 25 things to do in Marina, California, like there are in Enos, Montana.
This is true. Marina, I assume Marina kind of sells itself.
Yeah, I think so too. It looks like the best thing to do there is to go to the beach. The beaches look to be some of the top beaches you'll find in that area of California. There's a casino.
Well, yeah. You know, we're hitting up.
Yeah, for sure. And then wineries, of course. Yes. So if you're at a winery listening to this show, have another glass for us.
And tune in because we are going to be interviewing Travis Webb, a writer of a little book that's out there from Overcast Comics. A little book by the name of Starlite. But before we get that, we're going to crack some beers on before we bring him in so we can have something to drink as we grill him with our questions and run him through our gauntlet question as we do. As I do K-Mac, I will do it with our first interview here also.
Awesome. So what beer did you bring to drink today, Yek?
To be inspired by the topics that are going on in Starlite and the inner emotional turmoils of young kid superheroes becoming teenage superheroes, I chose a beer from a local brewery called Lost Generation Brewing Company, which is named after the famous Lost Generation for the 20s, of kids that became kids through World War One and then became famous writers. A little beer called Quiet Rapture. Ooh. It is brewed with 100% Hallertau Blanc hops. It's Northern German style Pilsner that drinks like brut champagne with strong limestone and vinous notes, finishing with a crisp hoppy bite. It weighs in at 5.2% alcohol by volume.
Nice. That sounds good. Well, the beer I brought is also themed based on this Starlite book. Now, the brewery is Southern Tier Brewing Company, and it's out of Lakewood, New York, which, if you read the book, you know that these superhero kids started out in New York before they moved over to the state of Washington. The beer that I have specifically is called Juice Jolt. It has a nice little lightning strike on the can because our main heroine of this story does have electricity powers or electric powers. So Juice Jolt, according to the brewer, is an extra juicy IPA bursting with tropical fruit flavor at an easy drinking 6.8 ABV. It delivers a punch of delicious fruit juice with intense aroma to match. And then it says on the can, caution, too juicy.
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 Yeah. With that said, let's bring in our first guest here.
Well, we would like to welcome to Comic Books and Cold Ones a special guest today, Mr. Travis Webb, who is one of the creators of the Kickstarter comic book called Starlite. How are you doing today, Travis?
Great. Thanks for having me on.
Definitely. And so you have the honor of being the very first guest on Comic Books and Cold Ones. How does that feel?
Very cold.
Cold. Awesome. Well, that's what we like to hear. So can we start off by you telling our audience a little bit about the beginnings of Overcast and the book Starlite, if you don't mind?
Yeah. So we'll talk about Starlite first, because Starlite creates Overcast, if that makes sense. So I've been around as a writer in industry of comics and film since 2005, 2004. And I'm probably the most successful failed writer you've ever met.
Nice.
I'm the almost made it guy, right? Like, oh, your film, they're going to option your film. It's getting greenlit. Oh, something catastrophic happened. Your film's gone into turnaround. Oh, they're just dropping everything. This has been my career. But
so you have favorable opinions of Hollywood producers, I assume.
I have a very favorable. Because of though, I do a lot over the years. I've done a lot of helping other creators, coming out. Hey, can you come out and look at this movie? We're having problems. We're already in production. Can you come figure out what's going wrong here? Because the director's having a meltdown. I'll go out. The agency would have me go out, and I get paid a check up front, and I'd go help figure out what was going wrong and to give them some ideas. And then later I started doing that for other things. And then I wrote another comic book, and my agency at the time was like, hey, we need to tie this thing into a film. This is going to be big. It is a hitman, and he's retired, and they drag him out of retirement, and they send thousands of assassins at him, but he's really fucking good at what he does, so he just kills all of them, and that's the whole plot. Fucking brilliant. I was like, oh, okay. So, it's back in 2006. So I shopped that around, and when I was doing that, I got tied with Brett Weldele. And Brett, at the time, literally was in the height of Surrogates, the movie. So he's doing the tour, everything. And they're like, okay, you and Brett, you guys are going to do this comic book about this retired hitman who comes out of retirement and kicks the shit out of everybody. Right? And so we do a bunch of work for it and stuff. And almost around that same time, you guys ever watch that show, Entourage?
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of stuff happens in the show happens in real life, usually just a few months before they have it happen in the show. And an agency ate my agency.
Oh, wow.
Out of spite. Right? Anyone in Hollywood knows the story. And so a whole bunch of agents fell off, and a whole bunch of people fell in the crack. All the hip pocket guys all fall through the crack. So I still get dink around because I have another agent who's, just had me do stuff. But Brett and I become really good friends, and I go off to work in artificial intelligence and other things. So a couple of years later, I'm like, hey, Brett, let's go to Burning Man. He's like, I don't want to go to Burning Man. I don't like to travel. Anti-Burning Man, right? So another funny backstory of mine is I used to own a giant rave nightclub, and I was a rave promoter, legitimately.
We have heard that about you.
We did see that, and we do have some questions related to that and Starlite when we get to them. Yeah.
All right. We got the first ones in 3 years of podcast interviews that someone went, wait, what? You guys were like, oh no, we researched that.
Oh yeah. Isn't everyone a former rave promoter?
That's the rule, right?
I know.
So we're down at Burning Man, and when we were driving down, Brett remembered this recently. I remember when we were going down, I'd mentioned, and I'd mentioned this to him before, but we were talking about how years ago I wrote a pitch for Marvel for Power Pack, when I was really young, and I was doing another comic book series. and I was like, I'm gonna pitch to Marvel. And I will tell you this: I don't know if it's still this way, but when you pitched to Marvel back in the day, you would get a letter back personally addressed to you with a full letter written to you detailing everything you fucking did wrong in your comic pitch, right? And it was brilliant, and it helped me so much. And I got a couple of those, but I got the one for Power Pack was the hardest one to bear, and it made me a little more obsessive back then, which is probably why direction I went. But Brett always liked the idea, which is all those kids, what happens to them 10 years later when they hit their late teens and teens, right? And in my story, I said, the older ones will probably handle things better, but someone like Katie, the youngest, who's like 5 or 6, when she gets superpowers, and they're going after heroin junkies and stuff, and people are dying, that's trauma. Like, it sounds cool when you're a kid to read those comics, but let's take that back and think about what happens to you when you become a teenager and you do that,
Yeah, that not every kid can deal with facing the Marauders and Lady Deathstrike.
Oh my god. No, I mean, holy dude, that comic is crazy. Have you gone back to really look at Power Pack? By the way, January, there's the anniversary issue series coming out if you haven't heard yet, so I'll be there.
I was about to say, I think we've identified our number one Power Pack fan and expert. If they ever do make a Power Pack movie, we're going to have you back on to break down all the Power Pack stuff that ever existed.
Oh man, Brett and I are huge Power Pack fans. So is Greg too. Actually, we found out later. By the way, Greg's our friend too. I'll get into how Greg gets in a second, but so he liked those ideas. So we're at Burning Man. I'm going to tell you the truth. It was the night before the burn. We went out all night and partied like you do at Burning Man.
I was about to say, bullshit, you partied at Burning Man.
And
Gonna
so
call you out.
suddenly, the sun is rising. God knows how we got that far. And we're sitting on what we didn't realize was a stage, and it really pissed off that camp. And we were watching the sun come up, and there was some really intense trance music playing, and people doing naked yoga, and a giant freaking rabbit drove by. And Brett goes, remember that Power Pack idea you had? And I'm like, mm-hmm. And he's like, I think I want to do that as a comic. I'm like, oh, I don't know, man. I don't. Can we not have Katie? Can I not have the raver thing? Because I had Katie turn into a raver because she's dealing with the emotions and the trauma by, what's the word? Detachment.
Her outlet for
Yeah. She's trying to
numbing
disassociate
her feelings.
yeah.
Right. And I was like, I don't really want to. No, that's one of the best parts about it. I'm like, look, man, I don't want to do anything with the raves. I have a rave past. I don't want to lean on that as a writer ever. He goes, but you have the most experience out of anyone who's ever tried to do that. You're always complaining how they don't portray raves like raves. They portray them like they see them on other movies who are making their basis on other movies who are making no one's actually writing what happens in raves. So, but that's just how writing works, right? Like, no one writes a real cop. They write the cops they experience from watching cops on television. No one writes a real doctor. You write the doctors you experience through watching television. Great writers experience those things and write about their experiences they witness, and that's how they get better cops, better doctors, and better characters. But most people just do that, and it's been going on for years. I said, look, I'll do it, but like on one condition. He goes, what's that? I'm like, I thought this would kill it. I really, guys, I was like, this is good. Brett's going to say no because I'm going to be an asshole. And then I was going to let him talk me into it, to be honest. But I go, if I can have transdimensional spider wizards and space pirate cats. And I made those terms up right there on the fly. And he goes, oh, man, I want to draw that. And I was like, look. Oh, okay, I'll do it.
A match that can only be made in Burning Man, right?
Yeah, I'm surprised it didn't turn out to be a giant bunny pirate collective inspired by the moment of.
Man, if there's a trilogy, that's in now. Thanks, yeah. I'll send you your check later.
So they're cats. I thought they were kangaroos. I was going with roos just by the ways the ears were shaped, but K-Mac did say cats and corrected me. So yeah.
They're Sphinx.
Okay.
Hairless cats.
Yes.
Yeah.
They have the little antennas too, so.
Yeah. Well, they're supposed to be aliens, so they can't be exactly cats, right? We want to be original there. So I knocked that out. That was almost 7 years ago. So I knocked it out pretty quick. and then we sat on it for a while, and then I brought it to Greg. Now, Greg writes Junior Braves of the Apocalypse for Oni, and he's a very accomplished writer in his own right and stuff. And I was like, man, I'm in deep in the weeds, dude. I was like, a lot of times when I come out and help other writers, it's because they've gotten into their own head, right? They've lost track of what's going on. They're in their own brain. They're in their story so deep, they don't know how to get out of it. And I recognized it really quick. I was like, man, I got to kill some babies. I got to do some stuff here, but I can't, right? They're like, Greg, can you take a look at this? Greg reads it, and he reads a couple of scenes, and he gets really emotional about it. And he goes, man, this is really good. Do you need any help with it? I'm like, yeah, do you want to come on as the other writer right now? And so we started writing it together, and it evolved from originally the perspective of the character Roger. It was really Roger narrating. That's why he was a journalist. And as a journalist, telling the story of his time meeting these two kids superheroes who are now teenagers who no longer have powers. And then they all get kidnapped by transdimensional spider wizards and space spider cats. And then Greg's like, that's dumb. Like, Roger's a cool character, but he's like an albatross, and we should just leave him be an albatross. He's the guy they have to rescue that they don't want to rescue, right? That's who Roger is. Let's make it more of an ensemble. So we rewrote a whole bunch of stuff and made it more of an ensemble, brought it back to Brett. Brett goes, this is great. I want to do this so bad. So we went out, we shopped it, and we got 2 talks. We got two meetings. And then, one of them was great. The other one said something really unnerving, which is, this is awesome. This is great. We want to do this. Can Sarah, because it's an analog, right? We'd already named the characters, whittled down to 2 brother and sisters, and that live just with their mom. They don't have superpowers anymore. They had them as kids. He says, can she not do ecstasy? Can she do anything but ecstasy? I'm like, well, that's her power's touch. Like, if you know anything about that drug is very much about touch. So the whole point of her specifically, her way of dealing with that trauma of the childhood and that specific power is why she chooses that drug and why that drug ends up helping her get her powers back. And he goes, yeah, can you make up a drug? I'm like, well, then how do we connect to the reader? Like, we wanted to write a legitimate raver character.
If you could make up a drug, you wouldn't need to be writing comic books.
That's true. I could write RoboCop movies, though.
Yes,
Anyways.
yes.
Oh, you could.
But we were just like, no, we can't change that. No, well, she can do cocaine, and we're like, wait, what the fuck happened there? She can do cocaine? It was really weird. I don't know. He's a good guy. I don't want to throw the guy under the bus too much. I think he was trying. He got orders to say something, and then he backpedaled all over the place. And so, and the other group was just like, hey, yeah, we'll take all the rights. Here's a check for $2,000, and we take all the rights. So, they get all 7 issues. They get the books. They have the rights to the characters, the rights to the story, the media rights. We get $2,000. Done. Right? And I go back to the guys and I go, guys, a great deal. Like, no. Let's do this Kickstarter. And I'm like, what is a Kickstarter? What are you talking about? Like, they're trying to explain Kickstarter to me. I'm like, I don't want to do that. That sounds like vanity press, right? Like,
but that's interesting. You come from, being a rave promoter, somebody, boots on the ground, having to get things up and running by yourself, entrepreneurial, like Kickstarter is like made for that. Here's a way of funding source of getting people in. I would think that it could be a natural transition for you from that, promoter world that you were in.
Did you talk to Greg and Brett before this interview? Because that was exactly what they said to me afterwards.
Well, Travis, we have a surprise for you. They've been listening the whole time.
No, guys. Oh, yeah. So we went with Kickstarter because the idea was and is that we would make more money from Kickstarter but have a smaller audience. But that would be okay because once we got the initial cost of building a book and got everyone paid, we could shop the book for more rights capability, maybe for less cash up front or no cash up front and royalties. And we'd have a way to prove that the book was successful. That was the idea. And I will say that according to Brett and Greg, we've made more off Starlite than they've made off any other traditionally published books by far.
Nice.
Wow.
The book has done really well. So there's that. But it averages around 250 people per Kickstarter. The retention is high. We've sold 3,000 unique copies of number one between Kickstarter, online sales, and book sales to comic book shops. I gotta move real quick. And so, I mean, it's done amazingly well for a Kickstarter comic, as far as I understand. In fact, when we met with Kickstarter in San Diego, they pretty much said, "Yeah, you're doing great. Yeah, you're hitting the exact stride that a book should be doing. That's professional." So that's where that started. And then Overcast, we wanted a way to publish it with a name, because apparently you have to have a publishing company to publish a book, even if you're just publishing on Kickstarter. So we made Overcast, and now since we've had Overcast, we've helped publish another friend's book called Battle Grapple Rebel. That was Mike Tanner's book, and Chris and Don and his team, and they're great. And as Overcast, we just gained the rights to another media IP, and we'll be launching another book based on that media IP later this summer. So that happened on accident.
Nice.
But that all starts with Starlite.
Yep, it's quite the yarn you told there.
Yeah.
From your experience of pitching Monty Jick, the killer assassin, that that would have been a really good movie to see, I think. Maybe starring Keanu Reeves.
Well, it's funny because there's this thing in creativity where a lot of people have the same things happening around them will come up with similar things. It's very possible that there's just somebody else said, "What happens to a hitman after he retires?" Someone else did the same thing, just had more options than I did.
Yeah, or knew the right people, or
Right. I didn't have those things, though. I did shop that to Walden Media, Disney. Like I was in every room. I met a lot of really famous producers and directors who really loved the idea and then just didn't go anywhere. Mostly because of the whole my agency being devoured by another agency out of pure spite.
Yep, that will tend to do it, won't it?
Yeah, that'll do it. So Travis, I see that you have a beer in front of you. Is that correct?
I do. This is actually the first thing alcoholic I've had in almost a year.
Oh, goodness.
I hope we didn't break your chip card that you had to turn in at a meeting this week or anything. Okay.
I had my gallbladder exploded recently.
Oh, I'm sorry.
For about a year because it resulted in pancreatitis.
Oh.
So, by the way, don't get that. That's terrible.
I
it's
haven't heard
on the
good
top
things.
of my list to avoid. As a beer podcast, we have our tops, and alcohol syndrome number 1, liver failure, then pancreatitis number 3 on our list to avoid on the podcast.
Yeah, my liver's great. My doctor's like, I don't understand how come your liver's so healthy. And I said, because I exercise it.
There you go. So what beer are you drinking today?
I actually grabbed a cocktail drink because I looked in the fridge and I had no regular beers. I had a Cutwater Mango Margarita.
Okay. I've actually had that before.
12% alcohol by volume. That's not too bad, is it?
No. It's a glass of wine, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I was just going to go to Starlite and some of the things. Both K-Mac and I read the first 6 issues.
Oh, we did?
Yep. We have some thoughts and questions here.
Validation is the currency of all creators. Bring it to me.
And it was interesting yarn. Yeah, the K-Mac instantly, when we discussed this, he goes, "What Power Pack story was this supposed to be?"
Exactly, yeah.
He did say that.
Best Power Pack story, maybe.
And in the yarn stories of Marvel doing Old Man Logan, Old Man Wolverine, this is Teenage Power Pack. Eventually you could do Middle Age Power Pack or something with them also. But yeah, going to your rave instantly, I was like, even before I read your bios, I didn't read your bios. I go, well, one of these people did a lot of rave scene stuff because it's truly come through with just down to the stylization of Sarah and everything. Is there anyone in particular, or is she just kind of an amalgam of people you remember from your days of promoting clubs and things like that?
So Sarah is an amalgamation. Even her name is Sarah because everyone knows a Sarah. I don't know how many times the Sarahs I know all think they're that Sarah. God hopes they don't listen to this podcast and find out it's not them. But she's designed purposely to be relatable to exactly who she is. Anyone can. She's my Hello Kitty, right? And Chris is kind of the same way. Her older brother. He's designed to be, young males in your high school years where you're trying to figure things out, and you got a younger sister, and you want to do things like go to raves and stuff, but you also want to be responsible and go to college and do the right thing. And so he's designed that way as well. So both those characters are designed that way.
Every kid's.
Every kid's, yeah. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like Yek said, we both read the first 6 issues and really enjoyed them. Really enjoyed them. And you mentioned before that the vine, the spider aliens and the cat aliens were the two things that you demanded to be in this book. Why did you? Where did they come from?
I mean, that's in the book.
Like, where did they come from in your mind?
Desperation, because I said I was going to do it, and I didn't want to have Brett realize that I was being an asshole, and have to admit that I just made that up on the fly. So I spent a lot of hours trying to figure out how that was going to work. I would say a lot of it came from Carpenter Brute and listening to Magic Sword, and enjoying my evenings. So sitting there, I got my headphones. I'm like, okay, let's think about how transdimensional spider wizards work. Well, they don't have mass like we think of mass. Matter isn't the same matter that we think of. They live in a black spot of space that we've never seen before because we don't have technology that can see the spot where they exist in space. Stuff like that. And the reason there's space pirate cats is because they're so advanced that they have to have some type of lackey race that works for them that acts as a middleman, because simply even knowing they exist can be an inspiration to different types of species throughout the universe to try to advance their technology to the levels that the Vine have gotten to. So the Vine kind of fear all these things. They fear their existence being found out by lesser beings because in the past it's resulted in catastrophic galactic death. So that's where that came from.
Now, you just mentioned to us you're a cat owner also.
Yeah, he's right here attacking me, actually.
Have you seen your cats eat spiders? Because
Yeah.
cats notoriously eat spiders, so didn't know if that influenced anything at all. But you're like, yeah, what's the foil to a spider? Well, obviously a cat, oversized house cat.
Yeah, the Spider Wizard stuff, man, is me just going like way deep. Like I don't really read, so I'm gonna admit something that's gonna make a lot of people gasp, but I don't read H.P. Lovecraft, right? I've glanced at it, I get it, but I'm not that much into it. However, the thing I get about it is how do you put something at scale of horror? How do you have cosmic horror? How do we get to cosmic horror? What is cosmic horror? Things beyond our understanding of science and technology, right? So that's really my attempt. The Transdimensional Spider Wizards is my attempt to try to reach out and create something so vastly powerful that there's just no way you can defeat them. There's no winning here. I don't know if you've grasped that by the time you get to issue 5, but there's no way for Sarah and Chris to win.
I got, you get the juxtaposition of the thing that makes the cats scared is the spiders. The only thing that makes them scared is they run from them. Yeah, that comes through. It's like, we're in this together now because the transdimensional space wizard spiders are coming after us. On the other thing we noticed, cat aliens, spider aliens, why they got to be pirates? We're big fans of pirates on the show, so I didn't know where the pirates came from.
There are a lot of pirates who are huge fans of this show.
All right,
Barry Bonds, Bobby Bonilla, all fans.
Yeah, all of them.
All fans. So that doesn't get into the book as much. I ended up writing entire lore sets for everything when I wrote out the Bible for the book because I wanted to make sure I had like characters acting on behalf of things that exist in their cultures. So they are considered pirates throughout the galaxy because that is how their race has always been. So I'm going to explain something that's not in the book, but as they have children, the children grow up, and this is really weird sounding, and it's going to feel political for a second, and I'm sorry, but I'm just trying to write weird shit. The eldest is always male. If the eldest is killed, the next one down the line becomes male. That's how their race works biologically. And so, and then that male becomes a pirate captain themselves when they raid a ship worthy of that firstborn. And then the firstborn takes the secondborn with them and moves on to that ship, and they begin their own crew, right? And they've been doing this for eons. And once they leave and they have their own ship, they don't ever return home, right? They don't ever come back and see their parents again. And they travel because the space is too vast and too great. And so everyone has different ship from different races, from different galaxies. And these are the only creatures in the universe that jump galaxies like this and travel. And they are considered a myth by most races or ghosts that are like ghost pirates in the universe. But they exist. It's just, I mean, he figures maybe a couple thousand of them in the universe, right? So that's kind of their whole mythology. And they become kind of this weird legend throughout the universe because they're always trying to steal something. I don't want to explain why they're trying to steal stuff, but they're always trying to steal something of great power from another race, or another species. So when they show up, usually, if there's anyone realizes they were there, they just realize these pirates from some weird part of the galaxy showed up and took away their giant, super powerful god gem, and it's horrifying and horrible, and they're evil. But if you read the books, you understand why these space fire cats keep showing up and stealing super technologies.
Now, you have two lead characters that are snarky teens.
Mm-hmm.
Have you already thought of the pirate joke they're going to tell eventually?
Oh God, no, I haven't. Tell me the joke. I'll send you the check.
I was going to say, Kevin, do you have your favorite pirate joke? I have one good pirate joke.
No, you go. I don't have any. Well, I figured Travis being a pirate would have a pirate joke, but we've seen the outfit. We've seen the photo of you on the pirate outfit.
Oh,
Travis.
you found my Pirates of the Caribbean. Oh yeah, I'm wearing sunglasses too. One of my dancers. Yeah, little Jackie. Yeah.
So here's my pirate joke. Pirate walks into the bar with a ship's steering wheel. It's down its pants. Kind of stumbles in and wobbles out. The bartender goes, "Hey, sir, do you know you have a ship's wheel down your pants?" And he goes, "It's steering me nuts."
Oh my God.
It's driving me nuts. Sorry, it's driving me nuts.
Driving me nuts. Yeah.
So,
that was good.
There's my pirate joke for the day.
Well done. Very well done.
Should have conferred with you, K-Mac, to get a pirate joke also. But
yeah, I should have made one of those too. Yeah, so if you want to use that, feel free.
Yeah, it's totally going to be in the book. And the good news is the book's done. Actually, we just rewrote 7 because there were so many changes throughout the series that we had to actually rewrite the last issue completely.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it still had artifacts of things that don't exist anymore. Like there was a water bottle that was supposed to constantly be draining. And if you look carefully through some of the issues, every once in a while in one of the panels, you'll see this little scrunched up thing, and that's the water bottle. And that's what's left of its existence. It's an artifact from a plot line that was dropped. Huh. And there's just a bunch of other stuff, too. So we had to, rewrite all of 7. And I wanted to make 7 action-packed. So 7 is just, nonstop blood and gore and melting people. I mean, she's called the Melter.
Yeah.
She's got to melt things.
She melts people.
Yes.
So 7 is the last issue?
Yeah. We'll wrap up 7, and then we'll move on to our next property that we just purchased, actually.
When is 7 already hit the internets that people can download it, or is it?
Nope, 6 is the one that's currently on Kickstarter right now. It'll be there till, is it Tuesday the 21st or Thursday the 21st? It'll be on Kickstarter. And then 7 will probably drop towards the end of February because we'll wait out the cold season. Because we've been doing it long enough to know that it's hard to run a Kickstarter in December and January.
Yeah, things melt better when it's warmer too.
Yes, yeah. So we're going to launch it around the time of tax returns.
Perfect.
Take your money that the government gives you back and go out and buy the comic, guys.
That is the plan.
Because that's probably about what you can afford right now with your tax return.
Pretty much, yeah.
Roger is, kind of your older milquetoast character to kind of play a foil to the young kids in this, but he's a conspiracy theorist tabloid reporter. Which show did you use to mimic him off? Was it Inside Edition, Current Affair, Access Hollywood?
It was Current Affair.
It was? Okay, I knew it was going to be one of them. That's what I thought immediately. Was Current Affair the guy who's doing? Because you lay it out perfectly with they don't make stories that are real. They make up stories to turn around and tell you the stories are false, but you still think they're real stories,
He stumbles onto the kids. That's the joke. Yeah. I don't know if anyone catches on to that, but he really doesn't think he has anything, which is why he just shows up with his friend Jim, in their video camera, and is an asshole because he's just trying to set something up to get, there's this whole thing. So I went to school for journalism, And so what he's doing is a real thing that journalists do, and he's explaining it in the comic, if I remember correctly, what he's up to.
Yeah.
And that's a real bullshit thing journalists do. That's not to say that you shouldn't trust journalists, by the way. Journalists always report what they're told, but guys like Roger and A Current Affair are not exactly coming clean. So it was really funny because the idea was, especially in the original storyline where Roger was the main character, the whole joke was Roger really didn't think he had anything, and he's pissed off through the whole book that he got kidnapped by aliens because he was fucking right for once.
He finally had the real goods instead of the manufactured BS that he'd been working on for years and years.
Right. That gets lost in the rewrites, unfortunately. But yeah, it is. It's the joke. The original joke is, these were just supposed to be two ordinary kids. I was just going to pick on them a little bit.
One of my favorite imageries, and it gives its name to the comic book, is Starlite being a drive-in movie theater. We K-Mac and I are of a generation, I believe you already are, that you could still go to drive-ins. They were real things. Did you where did that come from?
In Tacoma, Washington, on South Tacoma Way, around just past 76th, so 84th. It was there for a lot of years. Actually, one of the podcasts I did had the entire history of the Starlight Drive-In on the podcast before I started. Oh, wait, no, Greg did that podcast. Greg did a podcast where the person who did the podcast figured out which drive-in cinema it was based on the design, the name, and where we were from. Solved it, found the history of it, and gave the entire history until it was torn down. That was like the largest drive-in screen west of the Mississippi for 30 years and all this other stuff. And we're like, but I lived right down the street from that one. And so for where we lived in an apartment complex in South Tacoma, I could see the screens and watch movies without hearing them all the way from my bedroom window. And that was really cool. There's a scene with a swing set under the screen. And I don't know if they do that anymore, but when I was a kid, we always had a playground right under the screen at the drive-in. So I made sure that was incorporated because I remember as a kid, we'd go and see some of the dumbest movies for kids to see, like, why am I watching Mission Impossible? Not Mission Impossible, Missing in Action with Chuck Norris. I'm 7 years old. I don't really want to be watching this. My dad's into it. So I'd go out and play on the swings while Chuck Norris gets his face eaten by rats in a burlap bag.
Yeah, where I grew up, the movie theater, the Animal Twin, down front is where you would go down and play. Not necessarily we didn't have swing set, but throw rocks at each other or meet all the other kids that were in cars, just like who did not want to watch Dirty Harry that night, or whatever other 70s movie that was playing in the 80s that they put up on the screen, or in the 90s. We do a little thing on here where we ask a random question. We call it the Gauntlet here. In addition to the Tacoma, Washington one, which is now torn down, there are 12 other operating drive-in theaters that are known as the Starlite in the country right now.
Yeah, we learned that when we were making the book, yeah.
They are in 9 different states, these 12 different ones. Can you get 4 out of 5 states that the Starlights are in?
Ohio?
Ohio, there's 2 in Ohio, in Amelia and Maria Stein, Ohio.
California?
None in California. I will give you the hint. None of them are west of the Mississippi.
All right, then it's going to be like Ohio. It's going to be all those Midwest ones.
Yeah.
And maybe one in Florida.
None in Florida.
Not one in Florida.
Okay, then it's all Midwest places.
Okay.
Probably. Ohio. I can't remember all the Midwest places because I think they're other countries. So I'm stuck, man. What's the name of another Midwest state? There's Ohio.
There's Ohio.
Correct.
There's the one next door that's named after Indians.
Ohio? Oh my Ohio! There's a deep cut.
Yeah.
Illinois?
Close, not Illinois, but it is a Midwestern state. You jump between the two here.
Milwaukee.
Wisconsin? There is not one in Wisconsin either. But
Darn it, man! This is really hard.
Yeah, I know.
I feel like I need a map.
It's the reason it's the Gauntlet.
Are there other states over there? What the hell? Let me think. Baltimore.
There is one in Maryland, so yeah, we'll give you Maryland.
So I can remember cities. That's great. I'm doing good.
Oh no, there isn't one
Um,
in Maryland. Sorry, there was one in Missouri. Sorry,
oh,
not
Missouri?
Missouri. Yes, Missouri. You got one.
You got it. You got it. You're on the right track.
Perfect.
And another M state. That's a Midwestern state.
Ohio?
Mohio. Yes, Mohio.
Ohio? Mississippi? Man, what states start with an M?
In the Midwest, there's one
Massachusetts.
where there is the Twins play, the Vikings play.
Minnesota?
Yeah, there's
There
that.
you
That's
go.
your number 3.
My stepdad's going to hate me for not knowing that.
And
How many do I have left?
you just need one more of the 4 out of the 5. This one's the easy one. It's next to Ohio on the left. It's in between Ohio and Illinois. And
Indiana.
yes.
Yeah.
So
There you
remember
go.
Erie, Indiana.
Ding, ding, ding.
There are 2 in Indiana, Thornton and Bloomington. So Bloomington being home of John Cougar Mellencamp, apropos for the guy that writes about small town songs, going to his Starlite drive-in. But also in Georgia, Kansas, of course, Minnesota, Missouri, Pennsylvania, South Dakota, Virginia, and West Virginia.
And Ohio.
And Ohio.
It's sad that there's no longer one in Washington. There used to be so many drive-ins when I was growing up, and now there's not.
That is due to the digitalization of the media.
Yeah, I was hoping that would actually drive people back to the drive-in, though.
They couldn't afford in one of my former lives working on things, I worked with a drive-in movie theater owner on what to do with their property, and the big thing was they can't afford the new digital projectors because they just cost too much compared to what the rate is of letting kids swing on swing sets to watch Missing in Action. It's just
Didn't they come back a little bit during COVID though? I thought I read. But then they
I
faded
saw
out
Barbie at a place here in Vegas, a drive-in in Vegas that had like 12 screens. And the Barbie screen was the only one that was like cockeyed and keystoned incorrectly. And I kept thinking, just let me go push some buttons. Let me go push the buttons on that Epson.
You can run a PowerPoint like nobody.
Yeah, I can PowerPoint it to death.
So, Travis, I read somewhere that you had lived in Florida at one point. Is that right?
Yeah. I did so I work in knowledge management, artificial intelligence, and I did a really huge contract in Tampa.
Okay, that's where I am right now.
Oh yeah, I had a little place over there by the stadium.
Okay, all right.
Some luxury apartments that the company set me up with. That this is weird, man. That the place I was living in was set up by my company, so I can't afford to live there. But it had like theaters, and some of the Buccaneers lived there, and multiple pool areas, giant chess sets, music practice rooms, study rooms, giant gaming rooms, multiple kitchens. When you would leave, they had a cafe that was in the complex, and the cafe served free lattes in the morning. They had a barista that would come out there and like make your drinks, and everyone would live there just go get their drinks before they went to work. It was crazy. I'd never lived in a place like, and you didn't go outside because it was too humid. So the whole place was dog groomers, dog park, massage therapists on staff. It was nuts. That floor was crazy.
Yeah, that's how it is everywhere here.
Oh yeah,
I have all that in my house.
Yeah.
So that year you lived there, how many touchdowns did you score for the Bucks? What were you like, 4 or 5?
Oh yeah.
And
As a fullback, I went all the way. Anyways. No, you know what I did do when I was living in Florida? I gained 50 pounds because I ate at this place called Charlie's
Steakhouse.
Yeah, steakhouse. Right? I would go because I didn't have to pay for where I live because it was part of the contract. So I'd go out to Clearwater with a bag of Moscato out of the box stuffed in my backpack, and I'd go out to Clearwater and I would just drink all day at Clearwater. Wait till I sobered up, drive to Charlie's, eat steak at Charlie's, and then go home. And I gained a ton of weight.
Well, the steaks are good though.
Oh, they're wonderful,
Yeah,
and
very good.
Especially people with a box of Moscato in them.
Yeah,
You're gonna be good. Speaking of which, you and Greg are both from the Pacific Northwest.
Well, Greg and Brett are now. I'm in Las Vegas now.
But you're originally from the Pacific Northwest,
right? Born and raised.
So between you and Greg, since we're on food, who can eat more salmon?
Oh,
pound
me.
for pound if you go for it.
Me. I'm a salmon eater. Even here in Las Vegas, I'm always like, oh, when's the sockeye getting in here? You know, like my
It's a pretty
friends out here
deep,
think I'm crazy because I eat so much salmon.
it's a pretty deep run for them to get to the Colorado, you know. So I can see you out there with your seining nets and
Well, I mean, Vegas has insane restaurants, and I'll go to places and I'm like, how's their salmon better here? We're landlocked. It doesn't make any sense. So, but I should point out, I do not like Atlantic salmon almost at all. Like I can instantly tell Atlantic salmon, and I just don't like it.
if we were a salmon podcast, we would put you to that test to
Yeah.
verify.
Oh, you can.
Yeah.
I'll know right away.
So you can identify sockeye versus Chinook versus coho versus
I would
uh,
struggle with Chinook and sockeye. I'll be honest
okay.
there. Unless I'd been eaten frequently, I would struggle with it. But Atlantic versus Pacific based salmons, yes, no problem. Completely different
That is
salmon.
that is a borderline superpower.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a salmon eater. Anyone who eats salmon will be like, yeah, it's actually real straightforward. One of them's tougher, not as buttery, and not as pink.
Not as pink. Oh, okay. So you were in Vegas now, and you were a beer podcast. Is there any breweries you think we should hit up in the
Oh
Vegas
man,
scene if we ever go?
there is a liquor place. If you guys come down, I will take you. I'm not even joking. You guys hit me up, come down to Vegas. There's
Yeah.
this place called. Oh, dang it! I just had the bottle out because I had it too. They make custom rums. Spirit. I just had this bottle out too. Lost Spirits. It's over by Area 15, which is like the Burning Man venue where they throw raves. And across the street, they have a burlesque slash distillery, and they make this.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and it's a burlesque show, and you get
Wait, can we
four.
show that on camera? Are we burlesque
You
booze?
I have to,
Are we able to show burlesque booze on camera?
I mean, you're not on YouTube, so you're
This
probably.
is true.
Yeah. Anyways, so Area 15 is amazing, by the way. It's like going to Burning Man every weekend. And then across the street is the Lost Spirits. And what they invented a way to speed up the process of making rum using big giant lights that look like something from the X-Files. That process to make the alcohol do its chemical thingy right in the rum. And the pineapple rum is to die for. I don't even like rum, but I'll drink this pineapple rum to the day I die. So I'm a gin drinker normally, but that is insane. So if you guys ever come down, you guys hit me up in Vegas. I'll hit you. I'll do Area 15. I'll make a mart with you guys, and then go get wasted at this Lost Spirits place.
It's pretty sweet.
That sounds like a
I
good
would
time.
love to try some pirate fluorescent rum. That's me. If pirates just had fluorescent lights back in the day, would have saved them scurvy and produced quicker rum.
Oh, that's so good. Sorry, I'm gonna drink some of that later.
The last question I got here is: since you were a rave promoter, we were neither big ravers. Neither came back in my. I may have stumbled into a foam party or two in our days, but and seen Go about 100
I
times.
hate foam
Yeah.
parties.
Yes.
Hate throwing them. I have a foam party story if you guys want to hear later. But and Go is probably the best rave movie ever made.
That's what I assumed. If I had to ask you to name your top 5 rave movies, what would that be?
Well, there's 5 of them. I
Rank
mean,
them for us.
I always get a lot of flack for not thinking Groove is my favorite rave movie, and I was around when that came out. And in fact, Pollywog and AM Only, those guys were all good friends. And I have a friend that's in that movie. Actually, she's still an actress, and she was a raver to help me throw raves later. I just think Groove is really preachy, and it's somebody trying to explain raving that also didn't go to raves. Go feels like the experience that you have at a rave. You know, the night of a rave. We got to get there. We got to find stuff. We got to go in. We got ourselves in some stupid mess. Our friends stuck at our friend's house because we wanted weed. You know, our other friends like freaking underwater, but because he's so high, we're just gonna throw him under some boxes. Somebody gets hit by a Miata. These are rave things, man. That felt more ravey than anything else. The bedroom scene with the cop, that is like tier 1 rape stories. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, when you go to raves for a long time, you've been raving for a lot of years, you always end up with these stories, lots of stories. and half of them have nothing to do with the rave. They have to do with you going to a rave, and either on the way to the rave or after the rave, something happens. Go is the best one of those. Go captures that perfectly. Also, the music in Go is fantastic. Other rave movies that I can think of, gosh, I can think of a lot of them, but I didn't really like much of them. Midsummer Night's Rave has Donald in it, and a couple others. All of them are just like either preachy. There was one where the people were selling this stuff, a little like amber stuff. I don't know. I can't think of any other good, solid rave films that aren't using rave as a statement of bad. Like, you may not remember this, but I think there's an episode of Captain Planet where the kids go to a rave and someone tries to sell them a gun at a rave.
Well, that's just what happens when you're Captain Planet and you're a fourth phase superhero.
And it's just like, what the hell? No, that never happens. Like, you're talking about a bunch of teenagers who have homework due on Monday. You know what I'm saying? Like, no one's bringing guns to raves to sell to someone. And so, like, that was the part that was weird to me out. That's why I said earlier, so many people, when you see raves, like the rave in the Matrix and stuff, when you see these things, they're people's interpretation of what they think raves are because of things either they've heard or they've seen in other film. But all those things you see in film are almost always someone's interpretation of what they think it is. That's unfortunate because it makes it seem like underground means dark and seedy, and it's not dark. Well, I mean, there's some dark and seedy moments, but in general, it's bright and colorful and loud and screaming and insane. And I think it took society a lot of years to figure that out. In fact, I went to EDC this year for the first time, and I have the first flyer from the first EDC, and I went this year, and I was jealous because the kids nowadays, they don't have to put up the shit we had to go through. Tear gas, screamed at, beaten down by cops. I watched my little sister be accused of being on drugs when she wasn't and just harassed and put in a cop car when she was like barely 16 years old. You know, and there was nothing I could do. They don't have to go through this. So there's a part of me that's jealous and goes, crap, those kids don't know what we had to go through. But there's another part of me that says, damn, I wish I was younger so I could experience the rave scene now when the cops are mad. I'm listening to cops be mad because they're missing a set because they got scheduled to be on the wrong part of the rave. They're like, oh man, I really want to see Calvin Harris tonight, but nah, I got booked to be on, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh my God, the cops are mad about missing a DJ. What is happening?
You're a trailblazer, right? You did all the hard work for everyone who gets to experience the good times now.
That happened to rock and roll too, right? Like when it was bop and it was illegal and all these terrible things happen, and now old people go to rock concerts. Like,
Mick Jagger is now 80, so yeah. it's
I wasn't shocked when I heard Sandstorm in a Walmart, but I was shocked when I heard Wishing on a Star in a Walmart. That blew my mind. And Castles in the Sky. Those are not songs that hit the mainstream, so to hear them played in a Walmart, I was like, what is happening? There's happy hardcore playing in my Walmart. What's happening here? I'm old.
We all get there. Yeah, the Current Affair was used back in the day to scare the kids' parents, and they would just show rerun clips of MTV's Grind instead and say, this is where your kids are going. And you're like, oh no, this is awful.
God. That's so funny. Channel 7 used to have this in Seattle. It had evening news or whatever. And like in 1997 or 96, they literally went to like some off-brand, nobody went there rave, found one really high kid and another kid, spinning poi. They found one really high kid sitting on the floor, high out of his mind. They took the camera, they filmed that one kid, they filmed the kid spinning poi, they filmed some random flashing light. They made a really horrible article, video essay on how dangerous and awful raves were. They ran that fucking thing like it was new news every year until 2006.
I can see the graphic now of glow sticks and then some drug reference, and the little graphic they have above the right shoulder that says, do you know where your kids are? And
oh my God, it was so horrible. I remember watching it and I'm like, it was the first time they did it. I was like, okay, well, that was last year, this rerunning. But we're talking, I was in 2006. I looked over on the team. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, you know where your kids are? They could be at a rave.
Which ends up where the kids from Starlite are. And that's the comic you're here promoting. K-Mac and I both really like it and enjoyed it, and we're interested to see where the 7th issue goes out. Issue 6 out there right now, folks, so if you can, go out and get it. And issue 7, when it hits the Kickstarter limit, it'll be out, right, Travis?
Yep, February. Do you guys want the address real quick to where to get either
I
one
was
of
going to
those?
turn it over to you to let you give all the information for us here.
I'm just anxious.
Yes.
It's starlightkickstarter.com, StarLite Kickstarter.com, and that'll work for issue 6. And then when issue 7, it will switch over and become issue 7's address as well. Spelled just like the drive-in theater.
So if people are looking for other things from Starlight or want to follow Starlight, do you guys have Instagram or Facebook?
Yep, same thing. Starlight comic book across the board. Except I think we stopped doing what's it called, X, because that got annoying. That social media platform got a little bit too hard to deal with. We kept getting reported. Fuck X. It's too much
Musk
to deal with.
does not like Starlight Comics.
Yeah, we're still on Twitter. We still haven't. We're so slow. We haven't. We haven't even got updated to say we're on X yet. So
I got a text one time at 2:00 in the morning after I wasn't really thinking much about it, but I got a text at 2 in the morning from Elon Musk saying he had posted something on Twitter. So I went and blocked Elon Musk. It's 2:00 in the morning. I don't care. I don't care who the guy is, right? So I just went and blocked him. 3 nights later, I got another text from Twitter saying Elon Musk had posted something. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm getting rid of it. If you can't block the guy, you can get rid of the app. So that's why we got off Twitter.
So do you, Greg and Brett, have your own Instagrams or social media accounts that people should follow?
Yeah. Brett Weldele. Oh my gosh. Weldele is his last name. Brett, Brett. Okay. And then Greg Smith is Mr. Twit.
Or that amazing Twit.
Oh, that amazing Twit. Oh, you are good. Do you have any more, K-Mac?
Maybe. I think yours is Webworks. WEBBWERX.
Yeah. If you look up that brand in the 2000s, man, they used to go really dark and really weird really quick.
Well, we'll find out where our kids were.
Yeah. You and Bill Gates, buddy.
Well, I just want to thank you for coming on, Travis. We're excited for the products coming out, and everybody follow up with the comic. Look for more things from Overcast coming soon, and more things from Travis and his merry band of comic book writers here. So,
thanks for coming on, Travis.
You guys for having me again.